Good evening and welcome to, I believe this is episode 27 or somewhere around there of Red True Diaries. Tonight, I'm going to talk about Transcendence. How to be honest with yourself. How I am honest with myself about things that are difficult and that can cause pain, sadness, hardship, suffering. How do we find a place for these things within ourselves? I don't have all the answers for everyone. I don't even have some of the answers. Well, I have a couple of suggestions. That's what these are, as a reminder to try things out for yourself. Because sometimes if we're not offered the invitation to see things another way, we just get stuck in one way of seeing things. It actually recently happened to me. I don't remember in relation to what, but as soon as I saw it in a different light, everything changed. Let's say, for one immediate thing that happened was I ran into my neighbor, who is a huge musician and serious fan of Prince, and I am too. And he has definitely given me some pearls of wisdom over the years. One related to women I'll share after this story, but he has been blown away by D'Angelo's latest concert. He saw it in Kansas City about a week or two ago. And apparently he's coming to a suburb outside of Philly in a few days, and I'm going to do my best to go now, because he said it was a musical, spiritual experience. And one of the reasons he thinks it made such an impression on him is because D'Angelo has more of a preacher and Southern background, and especially in lieu of the shootings in the church in the South and the nature of D'Angelo's last album, The Black Messiah. I'm sure he'd come with it no matter what, but I feel like these shows will mean that much more to him. It is going to be interesting to see him in a white suburb, considering Philadelphia. I'm sure there'll be a large black demographic too, and not that it matters which race, but it is just surprising. I honestly thought that he'd be in a venue in Philadelphia, so I was surprised to find that out. And I don't think the show's even sold out, so I'm really quite curious. And the acoustics to the show are going to be fantastic. I love that he is one of those musicians who's fearless in terms of the heights that he goes, and from what my friend has told me, like, supersedes. That's what I love about the female orgasm, because truthfully it's shown and told me things over the years, literally, like it has just revealed, just when we think that we've reached our pinnacle, it's like, oh my gosh, we just keep going and going, but it's not necessarily higher, it's actually like outward, like expanding as the universe is itself. And so it helps and makes me feel that much more of a microcosm of the macrocosm, which is pretty awesome. Not too many things can do that. I turn around because where I am, I have seen raccoons, so I want to make sure I don't hear any creeping up on me. So in terms of Transcendence, actually, and this is good for you too, so tonight I am imbibing in a little bit of wine. Red wine is one of the things that Grace Jones swears by in terms of her health, and one of the things that keeps her young, because that woman she looks phenomenal at like 65 too, and not just in terms of her appearance, but her joie de vivre. She empowers herself in multiple ways, and one of the things too is she swims, but she also just embodies what I think of as a strong yet feminine woman who is completely at ease with herself and all her, you know, peculiarities. I've always been in awe of her. I haven't always liked her music, but I just have so much respect for her being and her, you know, sense of comfort with herself and the power and love and joy and talk about feeling orgasmic. Like, that's what to me she radiates. Oh, love her. So anyway, that's with the red wine. Every time I have a glass, it makes me think of her, because I know she says you every day. Oh god, I couldn't do it every day. It's just too much for me. But I'd say cheers to you, Grace. Pretty awesome. So tonight I'm going to leave the show or end it with one of my favorite poems. I thought of it when I decided to shoot out here tonight, film out here. It's by Lord Byron. I memorized it around, I don't know, 13 or 14 years old. And it's always been one of my favorites. Hopefully I can remember all the words. She walks in beauty like the night of cloudless climes and starry skies. And all that's best of dark and bright meets in her aspect and her eyes, thus mellowed to that tender light which heaven to gaudy day denies. One shade the more, one ray the less, would half impair that nameless grace, which waves in every raven tress, or slightly lightens o'er her face, where thoughts serenely sweet express how pure, how dear their dwelling place. A mind at peace with all below, a heart whose love is innocent. Yeah, that was not it. She walks in beauty like the night of cloudless climes and starry skies, and all that's best of dark and bright meets in her aspect and her eyes, thus mellowed to that tender light which heaven to gaudy day denies. One shade the more, one ray the less, would half impair that nameless grace, which waves in every raven tress, or slightly lightens o'er her face, where thoughts serenely sweet express how pure, how dear their dwelling place. And on that cheek and all that brow, so soft, so calm, yet eloquent, the smiles that win, the tints that glow, yet tell of days of goodness spent. A mind at peace with all below, a heart whose love is innocent. I almost want to say it one more time. Yeah, one more. She walks in beauty like the night of cloudless climes and starry skies, and all that's best of dark and bright meets in her aspect and her eyes, thus mellowed to that tender light which heaven to gaudy day denies. One shade the more, one ray the less, would half impair that nameless grace, which waves in every raven tress, or slightly lightens o'er her face, where thoughts serenely sweet express how pure, how dear their dwelling place. And on that cheek and all that brow, so soft, so calm, yet eloquent, the smiles that win, the tints that glow, yet tell of days of goodness spent. A mind at peace with all below, a heart whose love is innocent. Don't let them get you down. Keep your Keep your head up and your heart open. Just a suggestion. Thank you for watching and listening. I love you.